Hey there, Ken here. Just thought I'd give an update on the ponds. The main pond is looking grand actually. Fish have been in good form. Still a little bit of flashing going on, I noticed a couple of days ago now. It could be I only finished the FMG I think last Friday week, so it could still be annoying them. But in terms of ulcers or anything, they're in good shape and they're eating away, so that's good. The goldfish and my Jin Matsuba I had in the back, not so good unfortunately. You can see I'm cleaning that out again. I did, as you know, try the acroflavin for a week, made no difference. They were all, by the way, between all the problems, just a quick history, I noticed a lot of flashing at the start of the season, checked out trichodinea, treated that, still flashing. After a load of scrapes I eventually found fluke, had to do 2 treatments for that, and then after the fluke they were still flashing. A few more scrapes, found Chilavenella, and that was what the last FMG treatment was for. But I'll just walk around here because my pump there is going to run dry. Unfortunately, all those problems, I lost 9 goldfish out of 11. I have 2 goldfish left and I lost 1 koi. That's the first koi I've ever lost, and that's my original koi, the Jin Matsuba, the big white koi. You'll see if you look back on my previous videos. I don't know what it was. It was just he ulcered up down the bottom of the pond. You know, I got a bit of advice, and the advice was to, you know, either separate and try and treat him or cull him, and I did separate because he was of sort of sentimental value. I did treat him first with acroflavin, and then I did Virkon, a protocol I saw online, which was a triple dose for 5 days, a double dose for 5 days, and then a double dose for 5 days again, with water changes in between each treatment. The water in here actually went like pea soup, even though I had it covered. Couldn't see him, so I had to sort of gently net him yesterday and had a look, and unfortunately he was worse. He had broke out in more ulcers, so there was no hope for him. So I made the difficult decision and the right decision to euthanize him. So I just used an overdose of Koi Calm yesterday, and he went very quickly. I'd say he didn't have much strength left, and the 2 goldfish that were in there were still ulcered as well, so unfortunately I culled them. I just don't want to take the risk of putting them back into the main pond for obvious reasons. I think it's just a secondary bacterial infection from all the parasite and fluke problems I've had. You know, you would have thought that koi was fairly bulletproof. I never had problems with it before, but there you go. The other koi all seem fine. And the goldfish, again, I would have betted goldfish would be more hardy than koi, but obviously not. I lost 9 goldfish. I had to cull about 5 of them because they weren't improving or nearly expired anyway, and the other 4 just died of their own. And I have 2 goldfish that are unaffected. They're in there and they're doing fine. Why they weren't affected and others were, you know, I was talking to the local pond guy here, and he was saying he's a pond in the shop outside, and he had the same problem. He had a few problems with koi, and there were goldfish in there, and he said he lost most of the goldfish and doesn't understand it. You know, he's been in the hobby now 30 plus years, and he said he's never seen it before. Whether it was a viral thing or I don't know. My own suspicion would be it's bacterial. But anyway, as I say, these guys are all doing well. The water's very clear. The UV I had last year, I wasn't happy with. I don't know what it was. It was a dud bulb, or it did flood the quartz. It wasn't sealed properly early on in the season, and that might have knocked the bulb. But this one, is, as you probably can see, the Spindrift one, but it is nice and clear. So last weekend on the Sunday I did put in a half dose of blanket answer just to kill off that blanket weed problem I was having, although the FMG did seem to knock it back a lot anyway. You can see a bit of remnants, but it's fine. But thankfully, you know, I've seen worse online with people that had bacterial problems in their pond for various reasons. Hopefully that's the end of it, because I really couldn't take much more, to be honest with you. It's fairly soul destroying, you know, when you're trying to treat fish and you're not sure what you're treating, and just, you know, I was sure with the guys up the back of the pond it wasn't parasites anyway, it was, I think, bacterial, but there you go. I know it's treating bacterial problems, particularly when they get a hold of the fish, it's next to impossible, you know. But anyway, I did try. So that's it. What else have I done? I'll go into the filter shed. Not much else. I still need to tidy up in there. I'm going to put my lilies back in the back. They did okay. There's one flower there, a few died off. I'll just prune off the dead leaves and flowers, put them in the back. That's the new one I added. It is starting to sprout, so it's okay. I'll just tidy them up. I've been feeding as well. Just turn this off for a second, stop the noise. Sort of just went back into twice a day and checking the nitrite day, every second day. It's been pretty good considering all the treatments and the lack of feeding. So I did the test yesterday and my nitrite is up to 0.13, which is not ideal, you know. It should be below 0.1. This, by the way, is with the HANA test kit, so it's not like, you know, the what do you call it, the liquid test kits where it's either 0 or 0.25. It is far more accurate, and there always will be nitrite and ammonia, there should be. So the nitrite is fine at the minute. When it gets up towards 0.2, or if it does, I'll back off the treatment. I also put a bit of filter gel, the Evolution Aqua, for what, I don't know if it does anything, to be honest. I've said before, but it's worth a try. I got a tin of it earlier on, I put most of it, all of it, over the last couple of months in there. If it does something, hopefully it does. But I think as well, you know, to get the filter up and running, you do need to hammer it a bit. You don't want it to stress the fish and for the nitrite to go up too high, but you do need to bring it up as high as you can at a safe level. There's no point in not bringing it up, because that's not going to do you any good either. I've also upped my trickle in from 0.2 litres an hour to, sorry, a minute, to 0.4, well, it's 0.43. Just during the summer months when I'm feeding, I do that. I also checked the Big Blue. I did the what do you call it, the carbon on that. That's a couple of months ago at this stage, and I haven't touched it since, but it was at 0.01, I think, which is fine for the moment. It always starts to creep up, you know. It's 0 for a few, 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much you're putting through it, and then it starts to creep up, and you can shake it a bit and you might improve it. But once it sort of creeps up towards 0.03, you're looking at a filter change fairly quickly. And that's it. As I say, my UV, I didn't do anything with it. I talked about moving it, but it's hanging up here and it's doing the job, to be honest with you, so I'll leave it. You can see all the blue on my seal from the methylene blue. Usually the filter gets coated in, or not methylene blue, the FMG, the whole filter does, but it does kind of wash off the filter. It doesn't wash off the seal, but there you go. And that's it. Feeding the full strength food, which I will continue to do. I have plenty there to get into, and that's a bit of wheat germ. over the next few months I'll set up the auto feeder. I was due to go on holidays, I think I mentioned on Monday, due to a family bereavement I postponed that for a month, and I think it's for the best because I wasn't happy going off with the ponds sort of teetering on the edge. I think that extra month, not only will it give me warmer weather in Italy, but it will let the ponds settle, and once it's settled I'll be much happier. And also a friend of mine who is due to be away for the next couple of weeks as well will be around, so if there is a problem I can ping him, and he's reasonably local, he can drop down. So I'm going to leave it at that. Any comments, let me know. You know, hobby's been tough over the last few weeks, but hopefully it is settled, and I'm looking forward to a decently quiet and enjoyable season. Thanks a lot. Cheers.